Good, happy Monday is Monday, November 4th, 2024. I'm Riley King. Welcome to Riley's Kingdom of News right here on WRMK News Radio. Let's begin right now. We got a jam-packed broadcast to get to on this Monday, so let's get started. First up, UNH poll, Ayotte leads Craig in the governor race. Let's take a listen to that report.
The biggest race in New Hampshire on Tuesday is the one for the corner office in Concord. And a new UNH Survey Center poll out today says Republican former U.S. Senator Kelly Ayotte is holding onto a small lead against Democratic former Manchester Mayor Joyce Craig. 48% of likely voters plan to cast a ballot for Ayotte, 44% saying Craig. That's a slightly larger lead than the poll's margin of error.
Candidates for...
Okay, and there you go on that report. Congressional candidates make the last push to appeal to voters across New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Both congressional districts making a final appeal to undecided voters Sunday with different messages. District 1 incumbent Chris Pappas saying unity is still central to his campaign, no matter the result.
We need to find that common ground where we can be moving forward together. And so I'd be honored to earn the trust of the people of New Hampshire for another 2 years. We invite not just members of my own party, but independents and Republicans to support us as well.
His Republican opponent, Russell Prescott, emphasizing family life, saying it's a reflection of those who are looking for dedication to the role.
I work every day to be a better husband. I worked every day in the state Senate to be a better public servant. I want to bring that to Washington, D.C., just like taking care of my family.
In District 2, both candidates are speaking directly to the biggest issues facing the state. For Democrat Maggie Goodlander, it's an effort that also extends to other members of her party.
We have an opportunity to elect a people's house that actually wants to serve the people of New Hampshire. We have an opportunity to elect a president who wants to do the work on behalf of everyone in this state.
Republican Lily Tong Williams claiming she's coming in as an underdog candidate, which according to her makes her campaign appeal the most to voters.
I'm truly independent-minded, just like our state's voters. 40% independent-minded. Nobody's going to tell me what to do, what not to say, because I'm not, controlled by anyone.
All four of the candidates we talked to today say they plan to continue canvassing across New Hampshire through tomorrow and then into Election Day. And speaking of the candidates for Congress...
Okay, and there you go on that report. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance holds a campaign rally in Derry. Let's take a listen to that report.
Well, Isabel, what we heard here tonight from the senator was very similar to what we heard at those campaign stops today in North Carolina and Pennsylvania, but he also spoke on issues that voters who were here told me felt very specific to our state.
I believe that in 2 days, we're going to turn New Hampshire red and make Donald Trump the next president of the United States.
Vice presidential nominee Senator J.D. Vance ending a packed day of campaign visits right here in the Granite State. Republican candidates for Congress, Lily Tong Williams and Russell Prescott, speaking to voters before Vance got on stage to begin the rally by laying the attack on Vice President Harris.
All these slogans that she issues when she's standing behind a teleprompter, that somehow Kamala Harris is going to do something in the next 4 years that she hasn't already done over her current 4 years in office.
Vance then speaking to the issues he says have been impacting New Hampshire voters directly since she and President Biden got to the White House.
I hear from New Hampshire families who can't afford the cost of groceries, who can't afford to buy a home. And certainly a massive increase in fentanyl and terrible overdose deaths that come along with it.
And touching on former President Trump's plan to tackle the issues at the forefront of this election.
We're not going to tax overtime, we're going to stop taxing Social Security, and we're going to let the American people keep more of their hard-earned money.
While voters at the rally are left with several issues at the top of their minds heading into Election Day.
The biggest issue for me in this election is affording a house in the next 4 years.
Making sure that our taxes are low and that the cost of living gets decreased.
Definitely illegal immigration.
I'd say keeping men out of women's sports.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Good information there. New Hampshire Democrats say Trump-Vance ticket threatens the state's values. Let's take a listen to that report.
In the meantime, local Democrats say the Trump-Vance ticket threatens what they call New Hampshire's live free or die values. Senator Maggie Hassan says for 8 years, Donald Trump has divided families and communities.
We will hear more anger and more outrageous ways to divide our country and demean our fellow Americans. But we will not hear real solutions about how to solve the most pressing problems facing Granite Staters, like lowering their costs.
Okay, and there you go on that report. 7 key swing states in focus ahead of the upcoming election. Let's take a listen to that report.
Right now, we're seeing the candidates crisscrossing the battleground states. And on election night, you're going to keep hearing the names of these 7 states over and over again. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. You can see them on the map here. Whoever wins those states will likely win the presidency. 3 of those states are considered as a part of the blue wall. That's Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. They've historically backed Democrats, but back in 2016, former President Trump flipped all 3 states. Polling in all 7 of these key swing states show the race is virtually at a dead heat. New Hampshire is traditionally a purple state, but it's voted blue in every presidential election since 2004.
New Hampshire is sort of at the top of the second tier of swing states, is how I've been describing it a lot this year. We're not Pennsylvania, we're not Arizona.
Right now, a recent poll of likely voters by St. Anselm College shows Vice President Kamala Harris may have an edge on former President Trump in New Hampshire. She's ahead 51% to his 46%, a lead that is larger than the poll's margin of error. Ariel Metropolis.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Election security concerns in the final days of the 2024 campaign. Let's take a listen to that report from ABC News.
More now on the security concerns, both the physical well-being of poll workers and foreign attempts to interfere through disinformation. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas is here with more on that. Good morning, Pierre.
Rebecca, good morning. In the final hours of the campaign, local officials are taking extraordinary steps to protect election workers. In Detroit, they have bulletproof glass and a panic button for workers to call police who will be stationed around the building, even on the roof. At this vote counting site in Maricopa County, Arizona, metal detectors, armed guards, surveillance cameras, and if necessary, a SWAT team. And in Washington State, Nevada, and Oregon, governors plan to have National Guard available for any large-scale civil disturbances. Despite all the security concerns for election workers, Homeland Security officials say voters will be safe to vote and that for 97% of them, there will be a paper record of how they cast their vote, meaning complete accuracy for recounts. And they say voting machines cannot be hacked because they're not connected to the internet. I spoke to a senior law enforcement official over the weekend who said this should be the most secure election ever. Guys, let's hope so.
Okay, and there you go on that report. That does it for this edition of Riley's Kingdom of News right here on WRMK News Radio. Thank you for tuning in and listening. See you back here tomorrow for another edition, and see you back here later on today for more news coverage. Bye.